Boris Johnson's reshuffle of his cabinet has erupted with the shock announcement that Sajid Javid has resigned as Chancellor. Do you think the Prime Minister was right to demand Mr. Javid fire his advisers if he wanted to keep his job? The Prime Minister's former Tory leadership rival walked out of the cabinet after the PM told him he could remain in the post only if he wiped out his entire team. Mr. Javid chose to quit his job rather than remove those closest to him following an hour-long meeting with Mr. Johnson on Thursday morning. The Chancellor's team has been at odds with Downing Street in recent weeks. A key point of conflict is who will be responsible for writing the upcoming budget. BBC political editor Laura Kunzberg tweeted, "Hear that Javid was offered to stay on as Chancellor on condition he fired all of his advisers. He refused and turned down job." She added, "So Javid has gone, reshuffle blown up." Rumours have been swirling for months about the possibility of Mr. Javid being booted out of Mr. Johnson's cabinet. A Downing Street insider said Mr. Johnson had hoped for a moderate reshuffle. However, his plan to force out the Chancellor's team has backfired. Rishi Sunak, who has served as Treasury Secretary since last summer, has been appointed Chancellor. Last November, after his speech to the CBI conference, Mr. Johnson was questioned about whether he would keep Mr. Javid as Chancellor. He insisted that was very much his plan. But on Thursday Mr. Javid officially became the UK's shortest-serving Chancellor since 1970. He is the only British Asian to have held 2 out of Britain's 4 great offices of state, having served as Home Secretary previously. His departure after 204 days comes less than a month before he was due to deliver his first. The 50-year-old is the son of a Pakistani bus driver who was advised at school to become a television repairman. He has recounted how his father came to Britain from Pakistan with £1 in his pocket and how he faced racial abuse at school. Mr. Javid was seen as a steady, if uncharismatic, pair of hands. He was a minister who is described by several public servants who worked for him as decisive and clear. Some Brexit supporters were critical of his decision to campaign for Remain in the EU referendum, despite him previously describing himself as a Eurosceptic. He accounts former Tory Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher as one of his greatest inspirers and even had a portrait of the Iron Lady in. After studying economics and politics at the University of Exeter, Mr. Javid became a banker, first for Chase Manhattan and then between 2000 and 2009 for Deutsche Bank. In his maiden speech in Parliament, Mr. Javid said that being a banker was a good preparation for being a politician because both professions are disliked by members of the public.